Single 40 podcast. Welcome back. Here with Glenn.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Let's go. So we're going to start back where we left off last time with the Make Walking Street Great Again. So we're going to beat this horse till it's dead. So we've done a couple podcasts talking about it, and we've started to get some feedback and some comments. So some of the cool positive comments, we got one guy who said him and his crew always go to Thailand, and they went to Angeles for the first time, and they ended up, staying at the ABC hotel, and they basically said they had a great time, and they're going to work that into all their Thailand trips from here on out. And he gave some good perspective that, kind of like our narrative, you can grab some people, get a nice hotel room, get an area to party, and create your own party. So that was a really cool comment. Hopefully we can meet up with those guys someday. Another guy had a really good idea. He was visiting Burgos Street, and he said he had a great time up there. And he said somebody needs to start like a van service or a bus that can shuttle people between the Angeles Walking Street and P. Burgos. And I thought that was an ingenious idea.
Yeah,
so
that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, if anybody has a van or a bus in the Philippines and wants to start a service, I think that's an opportunity. I mean, it's probably, if you're not in the traffic hours, it's about, an hour and a half drive. He was talking about bringing people, down in the evening and then letting them party and bringing them all night, back late at night. But I thought that was a pretty cool idea, so we connected with him. So some people are buying into what we're saying, and it's just about bringing the hype and the money and the people back to Walking Street, which is now called Red Street, but we're going to stick to make Walking Street great again, like we've been talking about. So we got another interesting comment, and I wouldn't call it a negative comment, but the guy basically called us out, and he said that he goes and has been to all the bars that we showcase on our channel, and he says when he goes there, they're empty and the girls are sitting down, and basically we bring a 40-person entourage, and basically said our videos were all hype, and I say it wasn't negative because what he was saying was exactly the truth, right? I mean, and we're not hiding behind that. We're not trying to portray Walking Street as something that it's not. We're just showing what we do and how we make it fun, regardless of how many tourists are visiting there. And if you can get some friends together, pull your money together, grab some people that work there, you can turn it into exactly what we're doing. And that was kind of my response to him, is like, yeah, no, you're exactly right, buddy. And that's exactly what we're doing. And you should join us. And then he made a couple other comments on different videos we did, and we kind of got into a positive place with him, and he basically said next time you're back, let him know and he'll come join the entourage. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to show people, is that it doesn't matter who else is there. You can go have a great time with the group you have. Obviously, if you're a solo traveler, maybe you don't have friends traveling with you, but you can still grab people that are working, girls or whoever, and start a party. It's not a hard thing to do. And fortunate, like the Western dollar or wherever you're traveling from is probably got stronger currency than the peso, so you can have a really good time for less money than you probably would in your home country. And then that's one of the reasons we love going there, is our dollar goes so much farther, and the environment's just so much more positive. Everybody that works at the bars is a lot of fun, and there's not a lot of trouble. Like, me and Glenn don't go out in the U.S., so the U.S. has its high prices and, younger crowds and a lot more trouble. So we just want to keep hyping that up, that you can go create whatever environment you want,
Yeah, so. I mean, it's definitely changed my view. I mean, as you get older, right, you think you don't party as much anymore, or you don't go out. But ever since we started traveling, I think it's been something that I look forward to. I can't wait to go back. I mean, we have a trip coming up in next week, so I don't know. I just get fired up every time I think about what we're going to get into. So
yeah, we're sitting here. We're basically 7.5 days away from our next trip, so we're obviously getting excited, and that's something we do. Is we always set up a countdown, and our cadence is we go there, Southeast Asia every 3 months. So we go on the trip, we come home, and then we know we got 3 months of work and in the long period of time till we can go back. But that's like the light at the end of the tunnel for us. And we always start a countdown, and we know I think we've talked about this before on the podcast. We call it post-Philippines depression, and the only way to flip that is to book another trip. And so that's why we've gotten into this every 3 months deal where we go, 4 times a year. So our last trip was a longer one that ended January 5th, and the in between these two trips was a little shorter than 3 months, which is great. It seems like it flew by, right?
Yeah, it always goes pretty quick, but yeah, this one came up pretty quick on us. So.
Well, like you said, like people, I mean, they think they're too old to party or whatnot. And I know Glenn tries to talk, friends of his and to coming with us, as do I. People, I mean, we're in our mid 40s and we got a lot of friends that, from back when we were kids or, sports or, just people we know. And we're always trying to get people to come. And obviously a lot of people we know are married and have families and whatnot, which is great. But like I was telling one of my buddies who's just recently got engaged, and he had this narrative in his head that like, well, I can't bring my wife there. And I was like, no, you totally can. Like, and the way I kind of framed it to him was like, you guys like to go out and have a good time, and him and his fiance like to drink and they like to have a good time. But like most older people in America, they don't want to go out to bars and clubs because of the price and the nonsense and the young people. And him and his wife actually go to happy hours and stuff and they have a good time. So I was like trying to explain it to him, like, listen, you're going to go out and have a great time like you're in your 20s again, at a bar or a club, whatever is your cup of tea with, our group, our entourage, and it'll just be a fun, safe, good time. And when he started thinking about it, it sounded a lot better to him. And I told him, bring his fiance with us. She'll have a great time. We got, plenty of guys and girls that roll with us. So that's one thing I've been trying to sell some of my friends. And me and Glenn always talk about, you just got to get somebody to go there once and they'll probably be sold on it, right?
Yeah, no, that... Oh, shit.
You bumped the camera. You're good, though.
No, it's just one of those things. I mean, like, our experiences over the years, I mean, I don't know. I try to explain that, like you said, to people, and it's just one of those things where, I mean, you party like rock stars, man. Like, that's something that you just don't do on your normal day-to-day, right? So.
And our stuff has evolved. Like, when me and Glenn first started going, and our friend Matt, like, Atlantis was our spot. Like, Atlantis is such a big, cool bar. And 10 years ago, it was packed. And, the people that comment, it's not the same as it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. They're right. I mean, it has changed ever since the pandemic. But we used to that was the only bar we went to, right? And we would sit down and, we'd have a great time. And we'd get a whole couch area and, all the girls would be coming over and partying. We'd be buying people drinks. And financially, we weren't where we were now. So we had to always be careful of how much we were spending. And I mean, there was nights we spent, 50, 60,000 pesos, and we were like, fuck, that's a lot of money, And we weren't really big into the smaller bars. We just really liked Atlantis. But not till after the pandemic, we ended up going into Club Sky, which was right below the hotel we were staying in. And we kind of found like a newfound love for like the smaller clubs because it's a lot more intimate. And, if you're going to spend money and have a group of people, you kind of make it your own place. And that's what we loved about it. And it's funny now, and I know we've mentioned this before, like, there'll be other patrons in there, and they do two of one things. They either leave when we come in and take over, or they literally join the party. And we love it when they join the party because it just makes it more fun. And we got to know some guys from Australia once, different places around the world. And, like, once they see what we're doing and they kind of want to join in, it's like we're obviously very welcoming, and we turn it into a blast. So we've evolved from like literally just going to Atlantis was our spot to, going to different smaller bars that just make it more fun because they're more intimate, and, bar hopping where we didn't do so much bar hopping back then.
Yeah, I mean, after the pandemic, I think it was our first trip back when we went down to like Brown Sugar and like off the main strip, right? And I mean, we always had a blast in there. I think that was before like we even started filming or doing any of that stuff, but.
Yeah, there's Insomnia. I think Brown Sugar's been closed for a while, but that was open back then. There's a couple little spots right there. And last time we were there, I went down to Koreatown to go to a butcher shop, and there's like 3 or 4 bars open down there. We haven't been down there yet, but I know they're definitely cheaper. I know a lot of people complain about the price of drinks and whatnot, and I know it's cheaper down there. I've heard that. I don't know personally, but maybe we'll go check it out the next time we're out there and report back on it. But I mean, the fun is there if you want to have it, and it doesn't matter how many people are visiting. I mean, we've kind of learned that it's kind of better when nobody's there because you always have a place to go into and sit down. And obviously, like the guy commented in our thing, he said they roll with a 40+ person entourage, and I think it literally has gotten to that. I mean, when we first started, it was me, you, and Matt. Yeah. And then, it was me, you, and Matt, and the girls that we know. And then it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we've met more people. And now we got, like, Aaron, our tattoo artist. We got Adrian, our podcast guy that sets us with all our podcasts and also sells a lot of merchandise on the street there. And, all the guys from the tattoo shop come with us. And now we've met other vloggers, and, we got the Angels. So, yeah, the party's gotten to I would imagine at least 40 people. We should count it next time, but I think the guy was spot on when he said 40 plus people.
I mean, when we look at when I like watch these videos, or like when we edit them and stuff, and there's so many people on the street, it does look busy. But I mean, everyone's with us, so.
Yeah, we're not trying to mislead anybody and like make it look hyped up. It's like that's just what we do, and I mean, you don't have to do that, but if you want to have that type of party, it's available. And you don't need 40 plus people. I mean, you can have a great time with just 3 or 4 and then, you know, pick some people up along the way. If you're looking to have like the nights that we have, I think it doesn't matter how many people, just as long as you got a good group with you, you know?
Yeah.
And for the solo travelers that just want to be alone, it's like, well, you have all the attention of the people that work in the bar if it's empty. So to each his own, I guess. But we're going to keep pressing to make Walking Street great again. We don't want it to go away. We don't want it to shut down or turn into a different direction. And we've talked about the mayor who Chubb's interviewed has this big plan for it to grow it. And I mean, I hope he does put infrastructure and money into it and make it, you know, a nicer, cooler place. But if we keep going, I don't think it will ever shut down because, you know, business follows the money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think things change for me. I mean, every time we have a trip planned or when we're getting ready to go, it's like the same feeling I've had over the years, and I don't know. It's just something that I get fired up about.
Well, it's like Tony Robbins said, things change, but they just get better.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just gotten better and better for us. The more fun we've had, the more people we've met, you know, the bigger we do it, just the more fun it's become.
No, definitely. I mean, it definitely keeps it, you know, keeps my perspective here, like my grind, the day-to-day we have, like, motivates me and everything I'm doing. When's that next trip? I mean, eventually, like, I want to make that move, you know, so.
Yeah, it's definitely the motivating factor for myself. I can put up with 3 months of grinding work to always get there. And one thing I do when I work out, I have the TV down in the gym. I turn on our channel and just let it play all, and it always fires me up to power through my workout and get through the day, and then, you know, get ready to go through the next day and save money for the trip and just prepare, right?
No, it's awesome. I mean, for me, like when I make the videos, like it's usually, you know, weeks or, you know, months after the actual trip, and I mean, when I'm watching the footage, and it just like sometimes I can't believe like these are the nights we have over there, you know. So, and that's the reason why we try to, you know, showcase it. So.
Nice. I totally agree. So I got some kid reached out to us that lives in Angeles the other day on Facebook. He's got a YouTube channel. It's called Team 90s. And I instantly invited him to be on our podcast next time we're there, and he was super surprised. And I tell anybody that watches this, if you want to travel or you vlog or anything, or you just want to talk about, you know, your experiences of how you got to Angeles or the Philippines or traveling, like, or basically anything, like, just let us know in the comments. Like, we're always looking for guests. It's a lot of fun to have different people on, because you get to hear their experience and their path and how they got to where they're at. And obviously we did our friend Kiahi a couple weeks ago, and he's a real estate guy, has no, you know, connection to the Philippines, but we'll sit down with anybody. So when that kid hit me up, I instantly asked him, and he was all surprised. And it's like, hey, we'll talk to anybody. Like, so throw us a comment if you're interested.
Yeah, I always find it pretty awesome. Like, the people we've met over the last trip with doing podcasts, and I mean, Angeles City is not something everyone, you know, visits, or a place everyone visits or goes, but like how everyone kind of ends up there and the connections, and it's like everyone has, you know, similar ideas and thoughts as us, and, you know, they went there on vacation, enjoyed it, and made the move, and so.
And that's the community we're trying to create, is like, you know, a positive community that likes to go have a good time there or anywhere in Southeast Asia and likes to travel. I mean, it's like our friend Eric in Manila. He's got the Manila partying locked down, and he's got a community of people that, you know, he hangs out with. And that's basically what we're trying to create, to grow the channel and just grow that community of people. We're going to go party with Eric in Manila on the 22nd of March, right at the end of our trip. So we're excited about that. Like we've talked about, he runs a travel service where he takes people out on the town. You know, you pay him for his time, and he shows you his experience, and he's got all the connections to the bars and everything that's going on. So we're really excited about that. Obviously, we'll collaborate with him and do some filming and put a video out. So stay tuned for that. Honestly, probably won't come out for like a month or so, because that's not going to happen to the 22nd of March. But I'm really excited about that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, Eric, like, he's one of the guys that it's always weird when you meet somebody, you just don't know their story or what they're, what kind of person they are. And then when you sit down and get to know them, and then we got the chance to, party with him on the back end of the trip. And, he's a nice guy, and he had so much, information about, just gave us a bunch of stuff on, this is what you want to do, move out here, and.
Yeah, he's got all those experiences. He's a really good vlogger. He's got a good channel with like 20-some thousand subs, and then obviously somebody that worked over there and then retired early and moved there. So he's got all that experience to share, and he's very open about sharing it. And like I said, he's got the nightlife travel business going for him, and he's really open to sharing that too. So yeah, Video Lux, check out his page if you haven't already. Really good channel. Super cool guy. So with our next trip coming up, we're going to fly into Manila, stay the night there, and then we're headed off to Thailand, and we're going to spend a night in Bangkok and hit up Soy Cowboy, go back to our little stomping ground that we spent time there. So we're excited about that. We're going to try to possibly get into some other bars. We had that Tarlac bar that we have a video about, and that staff was very welcoming. We had a great time there, and the manager, Sonny, was very welcoming and let us film inside. We'd like to show some other bars, but that's kind of a different play than Angeles because we don't have the presence and the community that we have there. So we're going to do our best to just stay in our lane and do what we do and see if we can get invited somewhere else to film. If not, we'll definitely end up at the bar, the Tarlac, where we already know the people. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, I think, just how these things organically happen. I mean, like even just the stuff in Angeles, it wasn't something we were like, oh, let's just start filming, right?
Yeah.
It was something
totally.
Like throughout the night, the money, the spending, the having a great time, and then we kind of did it. And so I think that's how the little bar in Soy Cowboy, it was kind of like that. We were outside drinking with the girls and having a good time, and then it kind of just went in. We all, we went inside the bar, and then no one said anything.
Well, yeah, it was once we stopped, and that's like the conundrum, if you will, that me and Glenn will fall into is we want to make videos for the channel, right? And we always talk about we need to be more organized and we need to have these videos planned out, because how we started was just literally giving a camera to Ken, our camera guy, and Jonas, one of our other camera guys, and they would just film, and me and Glenn would go out and party, and we'd film it, and then we'd make the video. And obviously the videos have been fun, and Glenn's edited up some really cool stuff, but we keep telling ourselves we got to be more organized about it. So the conundrum I'm talking about is like when we went to Thailand and we wanted to expand into Thailand because it's a bigger market, if you will, and we had this plan to go film, and when we had that plan and that's like the lane we were in, like we just got rejected everywhere we went because that's what we wanted to do. And then finally we gave up on it, and we were just like, well, we're here, we want to have a good time, like let's stop worrying about filming, let's just go party. And that's what we started doing, just being ourselves and partying again, back to authenticity, what always works. So we started being authentic, and next thing you know, we're sitting outside Tarlac, we're hanging out with the girls that are out front, we start buying drinks, our whole group starts having fun. I think we had about 15 people with us that we brought from the Philippines. And then, what do you know, like the girls invite us in, they tell us we can film, we meet the manager, and we had a great time. So
we were giving out t-shirts, like it was pretty fun. It was good times.
So we got to figure out, we just got to go out and do our thing and then, film it. And actually planning out a video is harder to do. But then we went back to Tarlac the second night with more of the idea of filming, and we got better footage. So that's going to kind of be our play. And we're only there for one night, and then we're off to Pattaya for 3 or 4, 4 or 5 nights. Yeah. And we didn't film inside anywhere there, but we didn't really do a bunch of crazy partying there. The walking street's obviously huge, and it's overwhelming. And we cruised there a little bit, and every place has pretty standard rules on no filming. But we didn't put the effort in like we did in Bangkok at all. Yeah,
that place is just reminds you like Vegas. Just nuts.
It's wild, right? But if those of you who've been there, there's obviously the main walking street with the go-go bars, the discos, the restaurants and whatnot. But around that neighborhood, there is all kinds of I think they call them beer gardens, or they're kind of like open air bars, right?
Oh, that's right.
And we're going to try to explore there a little bit more and go into some of those open air bars, because there's so many of them and there's a lot of people working at them. And our plan is to try to just organically go out and have a good time like we normally do in those spots, and then see if we can start filming if we meet the right people and they're open to it, because obviously we're not into hidden camera stuff, and we're not going to film anybody that doesn't want to be filmed. So that's one of the angles we're going to try to take. I don't know if we'll go back to the walking street to try to film there, because we had pretty bad luck there, but Then again, it's probably just a numbers thing. Like the more places you go to, you probably end up finding one. But
yeah, I'm sure a lot of people try to film, and that's probably why, the secret camera shit. So.
And that's what we're caught between is like these are literally our vacations, and obviously we document them with video, and we want to grow the channel and make good videos, but we also want to have fun and not worry about having to document everything in the perfect light of making a video. So that's the problem we're facing on the trips when we do this. I don't know what the right formula is, but we do have to focus on having fun because it is our vacation and it is our release, if you will, from our working life. So I'm sure we'll figure it out. But as we've learned from guys like Chubbs and Eric and all the successful people on YouTube, authenticity is the biggest part. So we just kind of got to stick to that.
Yeah, I mean, and the guys we're going to meet over there and sit down with, I'm sure they'll, maybe have some places they could probably take us out. So we're gonna go
So we have 3 pretty prominent, I'd say, Thailand vloggers that we're going to do podcasts with when we're there. And 2 of the 3 want to like meet up before we podcast for like a drink, which I'm open to, but I also don't like though, because like I don't want to ask them a bunch of questions and get to know them before the podcast, because I really enjoy when you literally sit down with somebody you don't know anything about and you start talking to them, and then you just open up their past and they start telling you their story, and then it becomes so much more interesting to me, and it's easier to interview them, if you will. But I mean, these guys want to meet up before. I'm not going to tell them no, so we're going to do that. But hopefully the timing works out with all 3 of them. They've all committed, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to rent a boat. The second to last day we're there, we got a catamaran we rented, and we're going to invite all them in their group or whoever, if they got girlfriends or friends or whatever. So that will be fun. But really excited about those 3 podcasts, and I'm not going to tell you guys who they are, as I've said before, because I want it to somewhat be a surprise, because these guys got really cool channels, and when we start releasing them, I'll be excited for everyone to see what these guys are up to and meet them.
Yeah, I'm just excited to check out more of the area too, because I don't think I didn't do as much as probably I should have. I just kind of just chilled by the hotel and the beach area, and I didn't really do much with it.
Well, that's kind of our MO, is like we like to go places and then go back. And a lot of people that travel, I mean, I get a lot of negativity about this from, friends and family. Like, why do you always go back to the same places you've been? And I don't know, this is my experience. Like, you go somewhere for the first time and you have a great time, but you always don't have enough time. And you learn, like, okay, where's the neighborhood I want to stay in? Like, where's the areas I liked? What did I not get to see? So we always like to return to a place, because then we can upgrade to a better hotel or a better neighborhood if we want, and then we can do a bunch of stuff that we didn't get to do before. And I mean, that's kind of what happened with Bangkok, and it's happened with Pattaya. We went there once, and now we're all fired up for our second one, where a lot of people's like, why don't you just try different places every time? Which I understand that argument, because you get to see more things and do more things. But for us, like, we like to return to the same place, because then we like, step up our game and better the experience at that place. And
we always usually meet like a bunch of people that we reconnect with when we go back, so that's another thing.
That's a great point, because then it's like the Angeles thing. We have a huge community there of friends and people we hang out with, and obviously, like Bangkok, we went there twice, and now we got that one bar and the manager there that we're friends with. So yeah, we enjoy other people's company, right? And we enjoy creating the community. So that's a great point on why we like to go back to places.
It happened in Boracay, El Nido. I mean, all those places.
Boracay, El Nido. Yeah, we got some friends in El Nido that, we got into a business deal with recently. We'll talk about that on a later podcast once we get that thing rolling with them, and that's an exciting thing. And literally met one of them who was, on the boat they own, and then partied with him in Manila on another trip, and became friends. And then they brought an investment opportunity to us, and we're working through that right now. But yeah, if we hadn't have gone back to El Nido a couple times, we would have never met those guys and had that opportunity. I mean, in the future, there's a couple other places we want to visit. We want to try Vietnam and possibly maybe Laos or Cambodia, but Vietnam's like the next one on our hit list after we do Thailand again. And obviously, we're always going to go to the Philippines, every time. Well, for us, there's a direct flight from Honolulu to Manila, so it's very easy to fly into Manila and then jump over to Thailand. And we'll probably do that same thing when we go to Vietnam. We're thinking possibly September for Vietnam, but we haven't put the time in to research it yet, so we'll see where the rest of the year goes. But that's definitely a spot we want to check out. And then I'm sure once we go, we're going to want to go back there again. So we got to plan that wisely.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is we got June locked in. So I mean, although we have trips already blocked, ready to go before we even go on one.
Yeah, June's going to be a great time because we're going to spend some time in Manila, probably with Eric again. We're definitely going to go to Angeles and get our whole party thing going there, and possibly El Nido to go meet with our future business partners, if you will, and that will be a really good trip. I'm excited for that one. In September, we haven't booked flights for that one yet. We booked our flights for the June trip, so once we book the main flight, as we call it, the one from Honolulu to Manila and back, then we'll figure out what we do in between. And we usually go for this 11-day thing where we leave Hawaii on a Thursday, and then the following Sunday we fly back. So that will be the plan in September, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do once we get back from the June one, because then we'll be excited to plan something new. So I'm pretty excited. I don't know about you, but
no, I'm always excited.
Just we got to keep walking street in our minds and keep make it great again, and comment, argue with us if you think it's not great. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's changed over the years, but I'm going to keep beating this horse. As long as it's dead, I will keep beating it. The only way to make it great again is to go there, spend money, have a good time, and be positive about it, and create a community like we have. And I think we can keep this thing going if everybody that likes to travel there jumps on the bandwagon of making it great again.
Yeah, I can't wait till this thing gets bigger and somebody's like, "Oh, dude, I did the same thing you guys did," and had a good time. So
no, it's a good point, and I see like how our friend Eric ended up starting his nightlife travel business, talking to him about it. But as your channel gets bigger, I mean, anybody that hits us up and says like, "When are you going to be in Angeles?" We're always like, "Oh, we'll be here then, come meet us." And for him, he lives there, so he started getting a lot of his subscribers that were hitting him up wanting to go out, and it just got to the point where it was too much for him to keep up with. And then he came up with the idea of monetizing it and doing it that way, which is a great idea, and it works well for him. And I mean, someday we might get to that point, but obviously we don't live there, so it's like we just go on our every 3-month cadence. But yeah, anybody that subscribes to us, follows us, that travels there and want to know when we're going, like obviously we talk about in the podcast, but let us know. And if you happen to be there, like, yeah, join the 40+ person. Like I told the guy in the comment, like, yeah, we need to get it to 100. And it was cool to see him kind of change his mindset and realize we weren't trying to, hype people up and make some scam video. Like, no, we realized that, that's what we do. Yeah. So that's what I told him, is like, yeah, we need to get it to 100. And I mean, we'll take the whole city over. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. That's about all we got for tonight. Do you have anything else?
No. Hopefully, we get to that in 21. That's the number. So
you said this one's 17?
17.
And we're going to do another one probably this weekend, just me and you. And then we have the monster coming in on Wednesday to Hawaii from Nevada, and we will sit down with him. He's the third person of the PI pack. The original, me, Glenn, and him are the original ones that started going on these trips. So we're excited. He's going to come into town the night before and then fly to Manila with us. So we're going to do a podcast with him. So
he's the guy dancing in all the videos.
Yeah, the guy wearing the hat, dancing in all the videos, having the most fun. So we'll get him here in the studio on camera, and we'll get his story, and we'll talk to him about his dancing skills and how much fun he has. And that one will probably come out in 2 weeks. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, he's usually the guy that has the most fun on all of our trips. So
Definitely. So it'll be good to get him on the podcast, and he can speak for himself. I don't know what goes through his head when he goes on these trips, but he's the day drinker. He's the big partier. He's the one that runs the bar tab up and
doesn't pay it.
Doesn't pay it. Yeah, they come knocking at my hotel room door. Hey, your buddy didn't pay. Oh, great. But we'll get into all this with him. It'll be a great podcast. He's one of our good friends and one of the founders of the PI pack. So we'll get into that. All right, guys, hit the comments, hit the like. Single at 40. Thank you.